Hi, my name is Kira, and today in this video I will be focusing on the spoken word poem To This Day by Shane Koyczan. In this piece of literature, Koyczan speaks out about his own personal experiences with bullying, as well as the impacts that such treatments can have on us all so deeply. This poem is on YouTube and received a whopping 1.9 million views within the first 2 days of it being uploaded, reinforcing the extremely diverse target audience that it has reached out to. To This Day is a spoken word poem with beautiful visuals and well thought out words, and it draws on the audience's emotions while still applying itself to logic and ethics. Overall, Shane Koyczan's famous poem contains all three strands of rhetorical appeals: ethos, pathos, and logos, giving his words such a highly coveted standpoint in popular culture. More than anything, To This Day draws on the reader or listener's emotions, connecting to pathos consistently throughout its duration. This can be developed through countless quotes, the first taking place at the beginning of the poem. So we grew up believing that no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'd be lonely forever, that we'd never meet someone who made us feel like the sun was something they built for us in their tool shed. This quotation draws on the reader's emotions and tugs at one's heartstrings, as it introduces the possibility of an ingrown, lonely life lived without love or happiness. These lines from To This Day reinforce pathos with the ability to bring tears to the reader's eyes, I know they do for me, and introducing melancholy emotions to the audience. Another section of this impactful spoken word poem that appeals to the audience's emotions is as follows. He tried to kill himself in grade 10 when a kid who could still go home to mom and dad had the audacity to tell him, "Get over it." This is yet another example of pathos in its strongest sense as the topic of suicide and depression is introduced. These feelings are all too familiar in the present day, and in teens especially, indicating the fact that words truly do hurt. Pain is not always physical, and those who cut us down with words show us that senseless comments can kill. With the introduction of this quotation, intense waves of emotions course through the audience, the rhetorical appeal of pathos everlastingly present. In addition to the existence of innumerous displays of pathos in To This Day by Shane Koyczan, there are also countless developments of logos within. Logos is a rhetorical appeal that draws on the audience's logics, persuading them by reason. Koyczan's words make perfect sense and are easily connected to this rhetorical appeal on many occasions, especially so in the beginning of the poem. As Koyczan recalls the childhood event that served as the catalyst of his bullying and induced suffering and depression, he speaks of his grandmother. When Shane was young, he used to call pork chops karate chops, and because his grandmother thought it was cute, the common name gained its humorous nickname. No big deal. However, one day at school when he fell out of a tree and bruised half of his body, Shane was brought into, quote, a small room with a really nice lady who asked him all sorts of questions about his life at home. When asked, Shane said, "Life was pretty good," I told her. "Whenever I'm sad, my grandmother gives me karate chops." This led to a full-scale investigation. News of this silly little story spread through the school, and I earned my first nickname, Pork Chop. To this day, I hate pork chops. This quotation, pulled from Shane's words, is a direct appeal to logic, making sense to the audience. Due to a simple misunderstanding of the bruises on a boy's body, Shane experienced the beginning of his misfortune at school. Suspicions of abuse were certainly well placed and well enforced by the teachers at school, and while these inklings were misguided, one can understand why they were precautionary. At the same time, logos is drawn on, considering Koyczan's hate of pork chops following this experience, as he received a cruel and embarrassing nickname at school. Overall, this excerpt from To This Day appeals to the reader's sense of logic and understanding, delivering lawfulness to Shane's words. Ethos is the third and final rhetorical appeal present in this poem, defined as an appeal to ethics and convincing the audience of the credibility of a persuader. During the entirety of this spoken word poem, Shane's ethics, morals, and credibility are at their most vulnerable state, especially so within this quotation. And if you can't see anything beautiful about yourself, Get a better mirror. Look a little closer. Stare a little longer. Because there's something inside of you that made you keep trying, despite everyone who told you to quit. You built a cast around your broken heart, and you signed it yourself. You signed it, they were wrong. In all, this powerful and awe-inspiring quotation, pulled from the emotional depth of Khoisan's words, not only draws on pathos in the form of emotions, but also inspires a sense of morals and ethics in the audience's mind. Shane's words hold intense weight of credibility with an important message to weave within. This allows for the development of integrity and trustworthiness on the writer's part, delivering an overwhelming sense of ethics to his identification as the persuader. In conclusion, To This Day by Shane Khoisan is intense and impassioned beyond measure. Targeting teens in school dealing with bullying, mental health issues, depression, and suicidal thoughts alike, Khoisan's words are impactful, tugging on the audience's heartstrings. The existence of pathos in this spoken word poem is so strong, in fact, that it leads me and many others to tears upon listening. In addition to this, Logos also holds its own personal presence in Shane's words, especially so within his personal storytelling. His recollections of childhood make sense, and they appeal to his sense of reason and logic, therefore persuading the audience by rationale and coherence. Finally, the last rhetorical appeal, ethos, is everlastingly present in Shane's quotations, drawing the poem to one final uplifting close, revealing lessons of self-love and acceptance. Khoisan's usage of this brings out his credibility and depicts his sense of morals and ethics to his target audience. Thank you for listening.